The tube, the box, the telly, whatever name takes your fancy, they all do the same thing. 96.7% of American households plop down in front of their television and spend hours watching their favorite programming. Almost zombie-like, they watch their television sets in complete silence, only breaking their social ineptitude when the inevitable 5 minutes of paid programming from the network's sponsors interrupts their show for short breaks. In our modern day and age, commercials are a thing of the past. We've got our TiVo, DVR, Netflix, and so on. These technological advances in media have rendered most forms of media-related advertisement virtually unwatched. In the early 90s, the company Elm Corp began development on a piece of technology that does what most modern DVR devices do today. It would give everyday Americans the ability to pause, fast forward, rewind, and even record their favorite shows onto a small cable box. On June 20, 1993, nearly 100 prototypes had been released to households around America. Many of the families were confused at first due to the device's lack of any means to plug it into their TV set. The small box simply needed to be set atop or near a television, and the remote controller user interface would display on the screen. User reports stated that children aged 5–12 would act strangely after constant exposure to the Elm Corp device, including bouts of aggressive and antisocial behavior, and in rare cases, nosebleeds. Many of the beta testers had been forced to send the prototype back to the company because of the constant image distortion during programs. A few families even claimed to hear distorted dialogue completely unrelated to the corresponding program. It was always a deep, gravely inaudible voice, seemingly whispering gibberish. One family, the Adams, had the most unique experience. In the first few months, the product worked like a charm. It was everything that we thought it would be and more. Our 14-year-old son enjoyed it most of all. Being able to record his favorite shows and access them at any time was a big deal for him. Every day he would come home from school at around 4:00 p.m. My husband and I would come home from our jobs around 6 or 7. Our son's job was to do his chores, finish his homework. You know, normal stuff for a kid his age. Now he'd finish his chores, do his homework, but then he'd always go back to that damn TV. We thought nothing of it at first, but a few months later he started acting strange, talking to himself, constant nosebleeds, not speaking to his friends. Acting distant. One day we come home, he's sitting in the living room, no lights on, watching one of his action shows. He wouldn't respond to me. I kept shouting his name, but he wouldn't turn around. Something was wrong. The TV started making these strange noises, like coughing almost. The set displayed random colors on the screen when we looked at our son. His eyes, they were glazed. There were scars all over his face. It was terrifying. He was still conscious, breathing. We took him to the hospital where he died. He'd developed some sort of brain tumor. I don't know how this happened, but we pray it doesn't occur to anyone else. The beta test ended on August 10, 1994, a day after the death of the Adams child. Every last box was returned to the company. Elm Corp CEO N.R. Elmsman had nothing to say regarding the boy's death or any other strange incident for that matter. The final version of the product was never released. The company eventually fell apart a year later, and other companies began to develop working versions of the product. It's strange, actually. I had obtained the phone numbers of several Elm Corp employees, only to have them drop the calls every time, always after I'd asked about the man who owned the company. I've tried getting a hold of this man, asking around, looking through old yellow pages. Nothing. It's as if he vanished into thin air.